what lesson can you learn? Because every loss isn't a loss, it's a lesson. You can measure my arms, but you can't measure my heart.
I just can't lose, I just can't lose, listen, I just can't lose.
Welcome to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs, and today's no different than any other day. I have Miss Tasha Marie, a powerful advocate, entrepreneur, and storyteller from here, Indianapolis, Indiana. She's the founder and president of Minority Recovering Collective, Inc., also MRCI. She brings 15 years of life and work experience to promote recovery and wellness within the Black community. Her organization bridges hospitality, public health, and recovery to provide cultural programs that uplift and affirm the wellness of people across the U.S. Tasha, commitment to challenging systems and creating spaces for ease, peace, and sustainable growth inspires countless individuals and entrepreneurs in the journey towards healing and empowerment. How are you doing today?
I am well. And where did you get that bio? That was fire.
I get from people's information, and I put a little information in, and it creates it. I tell her what kind of introduction I want to create, and go from there. Cause
that sounded great.
Thank you. Because I got the cards, and I gotta have the good stuff. Start looking like the big time podcast. But before we get into our conversation, yes, I need a fun fact from you.
Okay, fun fact. This is my favorite fun fact. I am literally one of one. I'm an only child of an only child.
Oh, okay.
That is my fun fact. I love that. Most people think it's like super lonely, but it honestly has enabled me to live a very like nomadic lifestyle, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like for real, for real. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not 101. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I always try to go similar to what the other person does. I don't know. Well, maybe if nobody knows, my son is albino. Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows. Some people know. What you look at him, he has the red hair, the ginger hair, light skin. So sometimes he just looks light skin, but he's actually albino. It's crazy, like the process and questions and all the stuff they was asking us. It's
sure.
Yeah, but my biological dad's side of the family, I have cousins that are albino, so I knew when he came out. Yeah. But there's like different types or levels to it, because like my cousin, I know when she's outside, she got to wear a hoodie, glasses, all that. My son don't really got to do that, but he has to have suntan lotion. Gotcha. We've had an experience. He was with me. Didn't think about it. We outside at the pool, and his back was just red. Yeah, so I had to learn. So yeah, my son's albino. So that's kind of cool, because I have somewhere. I don't think albinoism is a disability, but he's different and I'm different. So both of us are different.
That's it.
How has your week been? Because it's Friday today.
Yes. My week has been busy. I have been in the midst of writing proposals. I try not to say the G word. That's like a bad word in our collective. Just because with that type of funding as a nonprofit organization, it's not sustainable. I always equate it to, it's like trying to play the lottery to pay your bills. So while I love to write, it is literally my passion, and where I am as an artist, really embracing that about myself. I love to write. Proposal writing is not something I love to do. And that is what my week has consisted of. So it's been a little bit of a long week, but it's been a good week nonetheless.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And writing proposal, because you gotta. Everyone is different. Yep. They ask for different stuff. Yep. You got to know what to put on there. You got to know your actual program, organization, business, whatever you calling it, to go and do things. Because somebody gave me information, because I'm starting a program helping kids with disabilities write books.
Oh,
so
nice.
he told me about some funding, and I had to go. And luckily, I already have everything that I need.
Good,
so when I went on there, I could answer the questions. I'd be like, oh, my God, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know your stuff, and then it's annoying because you don't know your stuff, and then you're like, oh, I got to go back. But it's part of the process.
It is part of the process. It is definitely part of the process. And right now, this past week, and then in the weeks and really the season to come, getting all of our proposals together so that in this upcoming year, we can really go and apply for funds and it not be so stressful because everything is clearly written out. And it's really more of a plug and chug, just depending on the system. You may have to tweak some questions here and there, but really just trying to streamline our process.
Got you.
For sure.
Got you.
Yeah.
Two things.
What's
I
up?
love that hoodie.
Gratitude.
And I have to shout you out because the reason you're on here,
Yes.
Naptown Narratives, your documentary, it was so fire.
Gratitude.
And me being able to go, like, kind of inspired me because I want to do a documentary because I have a great story. But just seeing it and seeing how it works, it's like, okay, I like that. Like, ooh, okay. So shout out to you for that because that was fire.
Right on,
And
right
I got
on.
to, put on some clothes.
I feel you. I feel you. No, because that dress, I've had that dress that I wore to the premiere for like several years, and I just didn't have a reason to wear it for real. So that was just perfect.
Yeah, she don't dress like this. I've seen her. First time I saw her, she was dressed up all nice, white, little jacket, everything. Now she coming in. I don't know.
This is the day-to-day.
Yeah.
Tasha attire. If you know about Tasha Mack, you know.
I do. On the game, right? Tasha Mack.
So in relation to me, so yes, there's Tasha Mack from the show The Game.
Yep.
I love Wendy Raquel Robinson. Like, have loved her for as long as I can remember. I think the Steve Harvey Show was the first instance, that I was introduced to her, but have always loved her as an actress. And so when the character Tasha Mack premiered, my world, everybody, it seemed like everybody kind of looked at me and was like, you got the TV show. I'm like, what? And so, watching the character, and I'm like, okay, I could see some comparisons, very headstrong, very business oriented, always gonna be about, her business, her paper. And can sometimes be a little man crazy, So there are some comparisons.
I just want to know because you from the South Side, so I found that out. So a little of the ratchetness of the South Side is in there.
Just a little bit.
Okay,
it's country too. It's country too. That's the thing.
So I live out south, and the way you was explaining out south ain't my out south. My out south is more shameless, Roseanne-ish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because
Fair enough.
So I live by Crystal House South.
Okay, yeah.
And not so it's across the way over the light, and you gotta go down that little funny road to get to my place.
Okay.
Because
I understand what you're talking about. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's one day, me and my son.
Not too far from the Aldi, right?
Yeah, that's right down the street.
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, before we gonna get into you, but my son was in the living room. I was in the room, and I came, check on him. I see lights. I said, "Oh, what's going on out here?"
Yeah.
Oh, he did. He looked like he did over there, and he getting arrested. Oh, yeah. An argument, and it was in the news, and it was on the news on Facebook, and the guy was still there. He was still laying there.
Wow.
Yep. The guy stabbed him, and he was trying to fight the police with handcuffs. It was weird. I didn't understand. My son, and he wasn't scared. He rode up the.
Trying to see what's going on.
He waving at the police officers. I'm like, bro, okay, whatever. But then I had to, hey, you good? Because you could see the guy, but you couldn't see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you could tell he ain't moving. Something's going on. So
gotcha.
That's my
Yeah.
I got one more. Got one more. And none of these people look like us.
Got you.
So going to the gas station, I normally do every day because the gas station is in walking distance. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking back. It's kind of dark, and I hear, "Why the hell would you slash my tires? You know we ain't got no money. Why would you slash my tires?" Shh. Fat. Oh. That's all you. That's all you heard was I got little. I wasn't trying to see what happened. Who got nothing? I was like, the slash in the tire. So so I heard your South Side. It's a little different.
Yeah, just a little
different. More melanin. I don't know where, but it's somewhere.
And that's the thing. My dear South Side, my part of the South Side,
where?
It really is like a little pocket.
Yeah,
Can you
explain where this located?
So if you know where Bethel Park is, it's now called Stanley Strader Park. But if you know where Bethel Park is, that is the part of the South Side I am talking about. It's that part.
Okay.
So it is called Barrington, Granville, Brick City, Lovetown. It has many name times.
No, I just seen. It's a L Apartments, and they said it's hood. Oh, I just seen it on somebody. Oh, I wish I could think of it. Maybe it'll pop
but
up.
It has many names, but that's the neighborhood I'm talking about. But this particular neighborhood and another neighborhood on the South Side called Norwood, these two neighborhoods are actually predominantly and historically Black neighborhoods on the South Side. More information has come out about this in recent years, and there's a lot going on. I think more so maybe in Norwood than there is in the Bethel Park Barrington community. But there has been a lot of great work that's going on to really share that history with the rest of the city, because a lot of the city doesn't know about the beautiful, melanated communities that are on the South Side.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows where you're talking about. I'm telling you.
We are there. We exist. I promise you.
Yeah.
You just gotta come.
I believe you.
You just gotta come and see it for yourself. You gotta come and see and experience it for yourself. And as far as the hoodie goes, this is actually a part of our merchandise with my nonprofit Mercy. Everything that we create is literally created by us and for us. So our collective members, all ages, literally, if you say something and we're like, we putting that on a shirt, we mean we're going to put it on a shirt.
That's what I'm about to start doing.
And so one, it's just great to, kind of see your own words and your art or your work. It's so cool to see that.
To wear your own merch. Because I started, so my son, I created a clothing line for him, and I was just making stuff. So some days I just couldn't find nothing. Yeah. But I love wearing it. They be like, where you? And it's be crazy because I didn't had it for years. They be like, where you get that? Oh, this me. And I'm about to start a store now, so I'm about to come up with some stuff. But let's get into you and let's talk about Mercy. To be honest, though, I like when I meet people and when you see them, they're in business mode and they're serious, and then they come here. She got her dogs out, as the kids say, and she done got comfortable. So you didn't let your hair down, and so
for sure.
Let's see, what motivated you to create a space focused on recovery and wellness for the Black community? So basically, how, why, and when you started Mercy?
For sure. I started Mercy. It was officially founded November 20th, 2018. So we are coming up on our Founders Day and celebrating 6 years.
Congrats.
Gratitude. It really spurred from my need for a safe space in my own recovery. Being in the recovery space and the mental health space, whether you're there as a person seeking support or a professional trying to further your career, being in that space as a young queer Black woman, I didn't often see myself, excuse me. And so I really wanted to connect more with my peers and create space for myself and my peers and, our loved ones, our community, to really come together, support one another, and just not feel so separated, so siloed in what we were doing. Like I said, I've been very nomadic in my life. Lived literally on all sides of the city. I've lived all over the city. And I like to think I'm good in every hood. If you got beef with me, I genuinely do not know about it, and you probably should take that up with God. But
I feel you though.
Like for real, yeah. We are not always at our best. You know what I'm saying? So I've not been a perfect person, and I haven't always been the nicest or the kindest being. Like real talk, you know what I'm saying? But where I stand today, I don't got no beef with nobody, for real. And I've lived all over this this city. And the one thing that I love about my life, yet has also been very difficult and inspiration for starting Mercy, is that as connected as I am, I often feel very, very split. I often feel like I am being pulled in so many different directions and kind of all over the place, because what my folks on the south side are doing, my folks on the east side ain't doing that. They got something else going on. And then my folks on the west side got something else entirely going on. And then my folks on the north side, who rarely I show any love to, but I love y'all so much. They doing their own thing too. And so I wanted to create a space, a collective, a community where we can all, you know what I mean, connect with one another, share resources, share information, support one another, and still go back to our respective neighborhoods and maybe even take some things back to our respective neighborhoods from us sharing that space and time together. So that's really why and how I started Mercy. It started with sober socials. I did my research before starting Mercy and all of that of what was already happening in terms of recovery in not only my city, but just in the country, like what was already being done. And something that I noticed that wasn't so much happening here when I first started Mercy, but we definitely see a lot more of now, and I'm grateful to see it. I wasn't seeing a lot of sober spaces. Almost every space that we go into, some type of alcohol or other libation, you know what I'm saying, is around being offered, whatever. And so for folks who are fresh in their recovery or maybe long into their recovery and just don't want to have to deal with all of that, we needed spaces to go and we needed things to do. So Sober Socials is how it all kicked off. I had a friend of mine cooking like pots of chili, and we started in the winter months. It was game nights and karaoke. Sometimes it was just gathering to kind of color and kind of just chill. But it was really just creating spaces for us to gather and be well with one another. And from there, I recognized, like, this is actually a lifestyle. Yeah. Like, for some people, they need to adopt this as a lifestyle. Yeah. And that's the only way that they're going to stay well. And that took my mission and vision to like somewhere else entirely. And really that's giving all glory and honor to God on that one, because like I said, I was just trying to have game nights and kick it with my folks. Yeah. And God was like, yeah, that's cool. And you're going to do this. Yeah. And so where we are now, we have a full catalog of programs and services and various things that we offer to our membership, to our collective, so that we can be well and then also be of service to our community. Because that's the biggest thing, I think, for anyone who is in recovery, is you have this sense of wanting to like do right and make up for all of the wrong that you did. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I wanted to give space where we can do that, but not be constantly, at least hope, not to be constantly bombarded with like guilt and other things. And like we actually feel like our service is truly making a difference. And it's not just, well, I'm doing this so that I feel better about myself. Yeah. And I still don't feel better about myself. Like I just didn't want to kind of just repeat some of the same things that I was seeing in some other spaces where it seemed like people, they would get well for a moment, but not stay well for a long time. Yep. Yeah.
I love that, because you gave us the history and then what the program consists of. But what I loved is you created something for you that eventually helped other people. Yeah. And a lot of times that's really what it is. We're creating something that would have helped the old us. And when we realize that, that's when we create something where, oh, it's more than game night. Oh, it's, I got to do this, and that. Oh, I'm here every day. Oh, now I got to do this. Now I got to hire people. Now I need this. Now I did. Okay, God, I see what you're doing. And it takes some time for those light bulbs to come on.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's crazy how the light bulbs are coming on for me. And I never thought, like, a lot of the light bulbs lately has been in the disability community. And I've never been a part of it, even though I have a disability. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's who you need. Those are the people that need to hear your voice, that need you to speak up for them. So it's like, oh, it's something new. I don't know what it's going to be. It might just be game night and turn to something else. Who knows? But that's where people have to take that leap of, okay, let me help other people that are like me.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, sometimes people go to programs, it's a couple weeks and it's over. Some people don't realize people need the programs all the time. People need to come in.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person, like, if I can go to a group and be around people, that's going to benefit me more than getting on a computer or saying, we only got this. Like, I'm in Murdoch's mastermind every Tuesday. Yeah. Like, it's some Tuesdays I haven't made it or whatever. Yeah. But I know on Tuesdays, I'm either online or I'm in at P30 because I want to be in the environment of everybody else.
Exactly.
And when you get an environment of people that are like you or people that are further than you, then it'll help you. So that's perfect for what you got going, and I love that. Where is this? You said it's on the south side. And I love that you were like, okay, they doing this, they doing this, they doing this. What can I do over here?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, they doing this, they doing this, I'm going to do it over here. You can't always do what everybody else do because you think you can cook how they cook, they seasoning different. They sauce is a little different than what you got. So just make your own meal over where you at, and then other people will want to come and taste your food, or you can go to the potluck and bring what you got to the table rather than trying to copy grandma's recipe. So where are you guys located? Absolutely. Like what side of town?
All right, so technically MRCI is global, baby. You feel me? So
okay, excuse me, my bad. It ain't on the side of town. Excuse me.
It's big MRCI. You feel me?
Okay.
But in all seriousness, we really technically got started amidst the pandemic. Like, we were only going for a year before the pandemic started. So when I initially started MRCI, I started it with the idea that we would be hybrid, simply because I did a lot of my education online by that point already. And I've always been a more digital kid. I've had some type of computer or electronic device since I was 10, you know? And so having started MRCI with the idea of being hybrid, then having to literally go hybrid, not having a choice, and then coming back from that space, we honestly found a really dope niche in terms of our target market. So we tend to work with a lot of neurodivergent folks who either struggle with sensory challenges, folks who are diagnosed with some type of mental health challenge or mental illness or diagnoses. And then my definition of neurodivergent, which is you think and process differently than the social majority. That's really all neurodivergent is in my book. And so working with that population, we find that we are very nomadic. It's so funny how much MRCI really reflects my life. We are where our folks need us to be. So we've been on the south side, we've been on the west side, we've been on the far east side. You know, we are where we need to be in any particular season. As of right now, most of our programming takes place on the south side in the neighborhood where I grew up, at Stanley Strader Park in their community center. In 2025, you will see us back around the community a lot more, reconnecting with some of our OG partners. And I'm really excited about that. I'll actually drop it now because we've been trying to figure out how we're going to announce it. So, hey, Cara, I'm announcing it right now. So we recently rekindled our partnership with BU Wellness Network, and they have offered us office space and just really a means to really connect more with our LGBTQ population as well. And so I'm really excited for that partnership. And so some very, very exciting things are coming down the pipeline in regards to that partnership and what we're going to do in that space. So we're already starting to see some expansion. We even have members who aren't currently in the state of Indiana and who are wanting us to kind of expand what we do where they are. So it's global. It's big mercy. Excuse me. It's big mercy. It's big mercy.
My bad, mercy, big mercy. My bad. I didn't mean nothing by that. I thought y'all was located somewhere here. Y'all's everywhere. But I love that, though. Yeah. I love that you are. And then, like, you started, you know, okay, we're going to start. Now we got to go hybrid. And you're able to actually go hybrid because like, communities help people. Yeah. I've been on online communities and different things, and they're helpful because a lot of times the communities that you're in, people think like you and act like you, or go through the stuff, and you can actually go talk to somebody, and they not like, oh, why would you do that? They not judging you and anything of that. So I love that. And yeah, with technology, it's crazy to think back because I feel like we the same age, but I don't know because you called me sugar, so I didn't know.
That throws everybody off.
Yeah, I was like, is she auntie? I don't know, but
I will always carry the auntie energy. Okay, the great auntie energy at that. Okay. I definitely have an old soul.
Yeah, definitely. So like when computers first came out, they were big and all this and all that, and I remember taking them apart and doing that, learning that, and then just what we're able to do now, that's just, kids don't even understand. Like we're the generation that started it, like the internet and all that. And it's like, we used to have a phone. The only game, it was a little line. And to see what we can do with technology now, and who we can talk to, and having a camera and a mic. Like, I can talk to people. This episode can go all over the world just from us sitting here because of technology. So that's super dope.
It is.
You got 15 years of experience with life, recovery, those different things. What are 2 things that you've observed that can help entrepreneurs go from side hustlers to full-time business owners?
That's good. I'm going to flip the hat up for that one. Y'all can see my face, at least for a second. The first thing that comes to mind is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You don't know what you don't know. Okay? And it's okay that you don't know. And I say that, and I'm really speaking to myself and reminding myself of those things as I say them out loud, because I have made a lot of avoidable mistakes because I was ashamed to admit that I didn't know something. You know? And as an entrepreneur, and honestly, as a person in general, I believe that we are all blessed with the time that we are supposed to have, that we need in order to, you know, enjoy and experience this life and do what we are purposed to do. In that same breath, I do not believe that we have any time to waste in that. And so, for the sake of not wasting time, admit that you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
And ask for help.
Yes.
Ask for help. I am the queen of I'm going to do it myself. So listen to me when I tell you, delegate. Learn how to delegate. Learn how to ask for help. You know, and learn how to advocate for yourself in terms of the support that you need. The biggest thing that I have learned from myself, and I've heard from other entrepreneurs, is I don't even know how to tell somebody what it is that I need.
Yeah.
Learn.
Yeah.
Like, learn how to use your words. Yeah. Like, you know, and it only gets better with practice, you know, and with time. The other thing would be, if you can automate it, do it.
Preach. I'm learning that.
Listen, I am cleaning up my personal processes and, you know, helping to clean up our organizational processes. And I am looking at stuff and I'm like, I can see that this literally went from my mind to this paper. And it didn't go no further.
Yep.
I'm cracking up because this is literally what I've been working on outside of proposals. And it's kind of just been funny to see. I see where I started to document the process so that someone else could come in and do this too. And I also see where I stopped and said, you know what, I can do this myself. And so going through and now learning of different tools and different things and ways to automate some of those some of those processes is a task. But I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful that these things exist now so that I can do it, so that I don't have to manually send the thanks for signing up for the listserv email, and that I don't have to manually do 1,001 steps just to do this one task. Like, I think as entrepreneurs, professionals, students, however you identify, I think it is oftentimes tough to recognize that in order to do one task, it takes so many subtasks and so many steps that sometimes we are not fully aware of what the true capacity is to get something done. Yeah. And it goes back to that: learn how to ask for help, learn how to ask for support, and how to advocate for yourself, because it'll save you a lot of time, it'll save you a lot of money, and it'll also save you a lot of headaches.
Yeah, no, you right on with both those things that you said, because I'm one that won't ask for help, and I'll go figure it out, and the process might take longer, but I think as an entrepreneur, you still got to go through that process of knowing what it is behind the scenes of your business, so that you can voice in when someone comes in. You like, oh, hold on, why are you doing that? That ain't how we do this. Yeah. Or, or you could be like, oh, you got it. You know what you're doing. Yeah. But asking for help isn't bad, because everyone asks for help. Somebody was further along than somebody else, and they was like, hey, what street should I turn on? And they told them what street instead of going straight. And now you got to go, you done got off on the wrong highway. Now you in a whole nother city, got to come back. So it's good to ask for help and automate it. Oh, my goodness. It's day. And I'm working on it, because I'm scheduling my videos, scheduling my posts, because it helps, because you could be going through your day. You might be somewhere where you got bad service. Like, dang, I can't even post. Dang. Or you be like, dang, did I post? You might have been busy, but I've been talking to somebody like, oh yeah, video just posted. Or they be like, they'll watch the podcast. They be like, are you doing that right now? Yeah, to you, it look like I'm doing it right now, don't it? Yeah. And that makes it so much easier. Or you get emails from businesses. They didn't send that. That's automated. They just go to everybody that's in the email list. You got to think of those different things. And that automated helps. It saves you time. You got to set up one day where you can do all that. So then you ain't got to worry about it through the week, and you don't forget, or it just helps your business stay consistent. Really. Yeah. Really.
Absolutely.
So I have a new segment.
Okay.
It's called Myth versus Reality.
Okay.
So I have a few numbers here. I need you to pick. Now, if I didn't print off all the numbers, but if you pick a number that they don't hear, you got to pick another number. So I need you to pick a number 1 through 12.
Okay. Give me 7.
God, thank you. It's on here. Okay. So the myth is entrepreneurs need a groundbreaking idea. Did you start with a game-changing idea? Did you take something that was existing and made it better? I'll go with that question first.
I would like to think that it was... I feel like it's a little bit of both, but I'm going to lean more towards I'm really remixing what I saw in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's nothing truly new under the sun. I can't really recall something that I feel like was absolutely groundbreaking and revolutionary in terms of its creation. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to think of something, and I literally am pulling a blank. But for me, I saw organizations such as NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I saw organizations such as KEPRA and Flanner House, the Recovery Cafe network. I had a lot of examples. Good News Ministries, Goodwill. I mean, there were a lot of examples of folks doing some amazing work in terms of helping people to recover, usually from specific things, but either way, helping people to recover from something. Yet what I didn't see was a few things. And that's why I said I feel like it's a little bit of both. Yeah. What I didn't see was a few things. What I didn't see was folks truly creating physical spaces in close proximity, because that's the thing. That's the thing. I wasn't seeing folks creating physical spaces in close proximity to create more of that neighborhood communal feel that was specifically for and by, you know, Black folks or folks from across the African diaspora and all of our cousins. You feel me? And so I wasn't seeing that. And I understood why, you know, people always bring up, well, you see what they did with Black Wall Street, and you see what they did to a lot of our, you know, towns and cities and blocks, you know, and I'm like, I understand that. And I get that. It doesn't mean that we stop. It doesn't mean that we don't need it anymore. It just means we have to learn how to better protect it. That's what it means. And so that was my driving factor of we deserve physical communal spaces where we can live and grow and be and worship and serve and recover and all the things right there, instead of I got to get this over here and that over here, and well, I may have to go on a sabbatical out of the country for a little bit just so I can have this piece. Like, I wanted to make sure that it was in closer proximity. So yeah, I feel like it was definitely a little bit of both.
Yeah. And to that, I mean, you got, you know, Amazon, Tesla, those groundbreaking ideas. But if you look at entrepreneurs, you're solving a problem. Yeah, for sure. That's really, it's really you just solving a problem. Yeah. Like, people don't realize that as an entrepreneur or just someone, anyone, you're supposed to solve a problem. That's what we're put on earth for, is to solve problems. So when you saw all this different stuff, you're like, okay, they not solving this problem. I can solve this problem. Yeah. And you're not like, oh, why is she over there? We've been doing this. No, you ain't solving the problem that she's solving. Yeah. You see something different, and that's kind of how it is. You're gonna see people that come up with ideas, and you're gonna be like, ooh, I could kind of do that, or I could do that. But the problem that you solve or the people that you serve aren't everybody. Everybody can't serve everybody. Because
you brought up Amazon, and it made me think, well, I feel like Amazon was inspired by, you know, UPS, FedEx, etc., which was inspired by the Postal Service, which was inspired by whatever it was inspired. You know what I'm saying? So it's always stemmed from something. Like, I feel like if it was the groundbreaking idea was the Postal Service, and these other things stem from that groundbreaking idea to kind of revolutionize that even more, you know? And I feel like if we start thinking of things more of that way versus it's all competition. Not everything is competition. A lot of things really, one, should be more about collaboration so that we can be well collectively, not just a few of us. But then also it's also a matter of just improving and expanding access, because that's what every single one of those iterations did. And that's what I feel like I am doing, and what I am doing is improving the access to what is available while also offering maybe your own spin, your own take on that as well.
Yeah. And you right about the Amazon with the postal thing, because everybody, like you said, it's like somebody was doing this, because we could think of taxis. Then you got Uber. Now you got Lyft. Right. You got Turo. All these different things. Yeah. There's something started somewhere. Yeah. But there's a way, because of technology, to be able to advance it or upgrade it or something of that sort. Or just like Tevin does the book authors, I'm doing it for people with kids with disabilities. Why? Right. Because I have a disability. So he's working with the Gen Pop. I'm working with the life skills students, and we're both solving problems and helping people. Because sometimes you'll look at, oh, why are you doing that? And I even asked him before I even came up with that idea. I was like, hey, if I was to do that, you cool with it? He was like, yeah, you know, everybody eats in a sense, because you'll have someone maybe they'll try to take somebody's idea and blueprint it exactly how, and then they'll take it and then be like, dang, that's what we own. Or they don't even go and be like, hey, is it cool if I'm on the south side doing this the event? I'm helping you out. You ain't got to come out here. I'll handle the south and the east side or something of that sort. But everybody looks at it as competition. And it's not competition, because if you go back to Paid in Full, that is really a masterclass on everybody eats and watch the people around you, because there's always going to be people that, hey, everybody can win, but then there's people like, no, I should be the only one to win. Why? Yeah. Why we should never think like that. I've never think like that. I always, if an idea come up, I might put somebody else's name before I put mine, because I know they're a little better at that than me. Yeah, for sure. And that's just, how life is. Yeah. So, let's see where I want to go with the questions, because I don't never use these. I use them and then I don't use them, and then I don't know. I feel you. Okay. So with recovery, explain recovery from your perspective, because I think recovery is different and everybody has a different vice that they need to recover from.
I will agree with that wholeheartedly. Recovery for me is really a process to restore your state of well-being. That is what recovery is to me. So for me, it's not about any specific circumstance or condition or illness or vice. It's really about just sometimes we have to take time to get back to feeling like ourselves again. You know what I'm saying? And that's really all recovery is about. Now, when I started this thing, absolutely, I would tell you, well, it was about me recovering from alcoholism. It was about me recovering from and learning how to live with bipolar disorder. It was about recovering from several different traumatic experiences throughout my life. At this point in my life, I can tell you that I have recovered from alcoholism, that I have learned to live with, and I do believe healthily manage my, living with bipolar disorder. I don't claim it as my own. So I was correcting my own verbiage there. But, in living with bipolar disorder and managing that in a way where I'm functioning and I'm not on any type of Western medication. I take a few supplements here and there. Yet for the most part, it really has been me learning various different skills and utilizing different tools and techniques that I've learned throughout my formal education and participating in therapy and therapeutic services throughout the years. And overall, at this point in my life, I feel that my recovery really is focused on recovering from the oppressive state of existence that we have been living in, period. I could add the caveat of, being a black woman, being a queer black woman, but I'm going to say the oppressive state of existence that we have all experienced, period. And that's because there is enough division. There is enough division, and we as earthlings, we as beings that inhabit this planet together and share this land together, because we will find all the ways to divide ourselves. Yep. But the one thing we all have in common is inhabiting this earth. That cannot be disputed. Go argue with yourself. Facts. And I want us, to, and when I say us and we, I am almost always talking about me, myself, and mine. I am talking about my loved ones, the collective of mercy. Yet I do believe that when I say we, when I say us, it applies to whoever is in line and in alignment with that universal, oneness that I do believe we all share. Excuse me. And so we need to recover from oppression ruling everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. Okay? Because literally, it was not just the European occupation of the Americas that destroyed our global society. That was not the only occupation that destroyed us as a global society. It was a whole bunch of them in Europe, and then there was some of them, you had the French, and you had Spain, and you had the Dutch, and you had Russia, and you had a whole bunch of them.
Hey, to what you're saying, I'm gonna just ask this question. I asked it on Facebook.
Yeah.
When was America great, and how we gonna make it great again if it was never great? Because to what you're saying, it was never great for us that are melanin, and how can it be great again if it was never great in the first place? Because people that don't look like us, that don't have to deal with the stuff we deal with or ever had to deal with the stuff, they came on my post and was commenting. Some of them went to war, and that's cool. That's salute to you for going to war and serving the country and all those things, but none of them were black. That says so. It was one black person. I was like, okay, what's wrong with you? But anywho, none of them were black, and it's like y'all don't really have to deal with what we have to deal with on a daily basis. Yeah, and me and you're a part of a community. I'm a part of a community, and those communities get treated different, and we're still black.
Yes.
So we still have to deal with some of the bullshit that goes on in the world just because we're black. And then because we're of different communities, we have to deal with that dumbass shit. And I could go on all day about my community, how we're not seen. And it's like, to what you were saying, we're all human. We're all on earth to serve a purpose and to help other people. But because your skin looks a certain way or you look a certain way, you treat people a certain way. And then if we were to say fuck it and just start whooping y'all ass, y'all would be mad at us and say it was us. And it's just like, to what you were saying, America, a people, have to recover because we ain't ourselves. Some of us aren't ourselves because your grandma, grandpa, great, y'all acting like them. Slavery's dead. All that stuff, like, let's leave it alone. But to what you were saying, we need to recover. We need to recover from 45, recover from whoever going to be in office this go round. Yeah. It's a lot of recovery that we need to do, and I'm glad you explained it the way you did, because I was sitting there, I was like, I had to recover because before I got a divorce, I wasn't myself. Yeah. And I was going to counseling, and I was realizing, like, this ain't me. I'm loud. I cuss. I make the ground shake when I walk in a room. Ain't nothing shaking. I ain't seen nothing on the wall shaking or nothing. And I had to be like, okay, how can I get back to myself? Yeah. And even getting back to myself was lonely because my family gone. I don't get to wake up and my son jumping on me or yelling at the kids or them asking me for stuff. So it was a little different, but I got back to being myself because I recovered. And that's crazy. I like how you said that, though, because I had a lot of recoveries because I've had a lot of surgeries, but that was a different kind of recovery. So everybody's recovery is different. And salute to you for overcoming your isms.
I appreciate that.
And I had to make sure I said that right. And then also shout out to you for not wanting and taking substance, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to label you and say you got this and you got that and you got this and take these pills when you could really eat natural and do different stuff and don't have to do that.
And I will advocate for a few different folks here in this moment, because for some folks, and I think of my mother very specifically, who's no longer with us, for some folks, they needed the medication to help them regulate. They did not have it in and of themselves at where they were at that point. It's not to say they could never get there, but where they were at that particular point in their lives, or where you may be at this particular point in your life and your journey, you may need your medication. Keep taking it. It's okay. I just had it within myself, a determination to where I was not going to be dependent on medication. That's me and my story, my journey. But by all means, if you need it, take it. It was created for such. It is okay.
I'm gonna have to butt in right there.
Fair enough.
I've had some people that do holistic health and I feel like certain medication is needed for certain stuff, but a lot of it gives you more pain. And I say that from my mom. She takes certain stuff and she be like, oh, that made me feel, or I need to go back to the doctor because that didn't do right. And it's like, what can we do not to have to put certain stuff, because they give you stuff to make your body change so you can keep coming back. So it just depends on what kind of medication you need, but don't allow doctors to just tell you need something.
Yeah, no,
just
absolutely
to,
not.
because some of the older generation, the doctor said no. We got to change our diets and stuff.
Absolutely,
of that stuff.
and it takes us putting aside, differences, ego, etc. No matter your generation, your age, your socioeconomic status, your relationship status, all of the identifying things that make you you. Outside of those things, what is best for you, period. And so it takes you knowing yourself, getting in tune with yourself to say, you know what? I remember when I was on this medication, that actually worked well for me. Yeah. When it didn't work well, I noticed I was doing X, Y, and Z. Because a lot of times we are taking medications and then mixing them with other things that are literally countering the medication, so it's not working as it should.
Y'all catch that on the way home if y'all don't know what she talking about. Some of you young folks adding things.
I was gonna say old folks too.
Yeah.
It's all the folks. Yeah. Okay.
Stop adding stuff.
We have to we have to make sure that we are educated in and enough for ourselves. You can't just go off of what somebody tells you, whether that's the doctor, the pastor, your mama, whoever. You can't just go off of what somebody else tells you and what they said worked best for them, because it may not work best for you. You literally have to kind of experiment on yourself to figure yourself out. And the reason why that is, and why we have to do that, is because the oppressive society that we have existed in up until this point has constantly done its best to make sure that we are as disconnected from ourselves as possible, because when we are disconnected from ourselves, we are disconnected from each other, we are disconnected from God, and we are disconnected from honestly knowing true liberation. So it really starts with knowing yourself, learning what is best for you, and then adopting skills and habits that help you to maintain a natural state of well-being. That's what we own, y'all. All this other shit, all this other divisiveness, I'm not here for it. And so I've been in this space of, because of the work I do and the population that I predominantly work with, which is young folks, I hear a lot of, well, the older generation and the younger generation. The older generation did this. The young people today don't do this. And yada. I hear a lot of that. And I am in this space and on this platform to say, stop all that shit. Cut all that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, for real, because it's not helping us in any way, shape, or form. And I know that, honestly, I know it's easy to do. I know it's easy to do because it almost kind of rolls off your tongue before you even think about it a lot of the time. I'm still working on it too. Yet it's going to take us being more intentional with our words. It's going to take us to say, you know what, I noticed that older folks tend to say this. So either I'm going to show them differently, or I'm going to say something to educate them, to maybe help them see it from a different perspective. And my same thing goes to the older folks. But we can't just keep pointing blame at each other thinking that that's going to help us really resolve anything, let alone heal and know liberation.
Well, we could go ahead and end the podcast after that, because you said a mouthful. I was gonna slide in there a few times, but I was like, no, let me go on, let you finish. I do want to say, loving yourself is a revolutionary action.
Ashe.
Yeah, because I got that from
Brother Murdoch.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that in there, but
I
don't know. Yeah, you said a lot, because what you said about not worrying about your mama, the pastor, the doctor, you wasn't talking about medication. You talking about life. Your
Just life in general.
Because a lot of times you stop yourself by trying to please somebody else. Your parents tell you, I want you to be a doctor. That's what we do in this family. But you not the doctor. You can be something else. You can do your own thing, and you have to find you to be able to do that, because a lot of times you get caught up with your friends. I used to get caught up with my friends because I didn't drive. So wherever they went, I went because I can get out the house.
I know that one too.
And then it's like, oh, I can drive now. Or, oh, Uber? Oh, I can leave? I ain't got to go with y'all? Cool. And it was nothing towards my friends, but it's like some stuff, this ain't me. I like to be at home. I like to chill. And when you find yourself, that's when you're able to be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what you're doing, who you are, what community you are, what you go by, anything. Just be the best version of yourself by loving yourself and finding who you are. And then you can go out here and be great. Like, it took me till I was 30 to realize, okay, God made me disabled with these short arms for a reason. He didn't do it to punish me. He did it so I can go through all the bullshit that I had to go through as a kid, as an adult, to get here to say, oh, I had to go through all that. Now I can go tell people how to overcome their situation.
That's it.
Now I can use the voice that I used to get in trouble in at school for a good reason. And it's like, and it took me to 30 to realize, like, dang, 30? But now I'm the best version of myself. I still have some recovery to do. There's still some stuff that I do that maybe I shouldn't do. And it's part of life. Like, you're not going to be perfect. People think, oh, you're a teacher. I'm not supposed to do what? Who are you to tell me what I'm supposed to do? Like, I don't like people that get a title and then you're human. It's okay that a person's human, like sports. People be dogging sports people. You couldn't get on the court, get on the field, couldn't get on the baseball, nothing they do, and do it for 10 minutes. Do it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But they suck or this and that. It's like, what if that's your kid? And I've dealt with that because my son, his Instagram is on there, and I'm controlling it, and I'm like, damn, he only 10 and he got, oh, Lord. And it's like, man, people in the world are evil, but when you know yourself and you're good in your skin, you like, oh, okay, that's cool. You a hater. Oh, okay, you ain't got nothing going with your life, but you talking about me? Okay, cool. But when you don't, though, that noise, that stuff, you be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go under a rock, I'm gonna go under a pillow, I'm gonna crash out. But when you like, all right, bad shit gonna happen, good shit gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let my day be messed up because this bad moment or this bad person came in here. Oh, bad energy walked in the room. Up, let me close the door or walk out the door. And it's different things. So, like, to what you were saying, you said a lot there that people, I hope they catch it. I
appreciate that.
Yeah. And I let people come on, and everybody got a different story or different, and it's like, okay, let me sit back and listen, because you learn from everybody and what they're doing. Because I only got to see a piece of you on the documentary. Now I'm sitting and talking to you and getting the more informal version of who you are and what you do with Mercy. And I was like, I get it. Yeah. And if I knew somebody that needed that, you would be a person, because you're not just, because some people do stuff because they researched. They read some books. Ain't never dealt with nothing that they talking about.
You ain't lying.
But then they want somebody to come to their program and stuff of that. No, I would rather it be a program that's just starting. They don't got all the resources yet, but I love the energy of the people. And though that's how people are going to get help. I've been in situations where it's people that was on a Colts team. It was a dude that read books and he come in with a suit, and it's like, bro, y'all ain't talking about shit. Nobody want to listen to that. And you got little old me that ain't never really been speaking, but I'm just speaking off the heart. And they like, oh, we mess with him. I like what you talking about. Yeah. Because I don't know, I ain't giving you no fluff. I ain't going to come up here and make it look pretty for you. I'm going to be Eric Jones Jr., and people want to see the real version of you. And I tell people that all the time. And my mom, I tell her, because she want to come on the podcast, I was like, you got to be transparent. You can't tell half your story. You can't sugarcoat it, because you're going to help somebody. And we don't realize with storytelling how we can help somebody.
Absolutely.
Because, I don't want them in our community. I don't. We shouldn't tell nobody. We don't keep it in the house. And all the stuff in the house be bad shit. Yeah. No, nothing they tell you to stay in the house. Was it ever good? Never. Was it ever good? It was never good.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't.
No.
And then you go to therapy and then you see the successful people telling you, hey, yeah, go tell your truth. And you're like, hold on. They went through all that and now they rich and making money because they telling their story. You're telling your story.
Yeah.
You're not ashamed of telling your story.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of telling my story.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you help people.
You absolutely do. And you'll know an abundance and a peace that you may not necessarily know otherwise. Like there's so much that comes from releasing, because storytelling is a form of release. Yeah. And I don't think that is talked about enough. Right. We may need a whole other episode for that one.
you right.
Like for real, it's a whole other type of release. And I appreciate being able to come on your podcast and do some of the other podcasts that I've been able to do as of late since the Naptown Narratives premiere. Because the night of the premiere, I was literally just talking about this with my best friend, who's also my business partner. I was like, I struggled at the premiere to have words. I said, because I've really been struggling with the idea of performing. I've never liked to perform ever. Yeah. I love to express myself in artistic ways, but putting that on a platform or doing that in a way to show other people, I've always struggled with that. And it's not so much about stage fright. I just think it's a thing of, it is so personal to me that it is hard to expose myself in that particular way. Yeah. Like I can tell my story all day long, but you see, I'm not the one holding the camera and I'm not the one doing some of the pieces. So it is easy for me to just talk and let it flow, and so the night of the premiere, I was kind of telling her, I was like, I've been kind of beating myself up because I was so stuck about, the idea of not performing or, of not performing, that I kind of feel like I didn't fully take that opportunity to really tell folks about Mercy and what we need right now and all of that, which is what I had planned to do. Like I had written it out before I went. I left that at home where I had written it down. So by the time I got there and just how everything unfolded, it was beautiful to be in that moment. But I honestly struggle with social anxiety. You would probably never know that when you see me in these settings, but I have always struggled with social anxiety. Being one of one, you're isolated. You're being to yourself. You get around people and it's like, I thought I was weird.
It's funny. I'm that way. Yeah. And I talk and I could put me on the stage, but if I'm somewhere and it's nobody I really know or rock, I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And I struggled with making sure that I had more of my loved ones in the room, because like I said, I'm still healing and recovering from quite a few things, and one of them is confidence in myself. Especially being on this side of things, being in recovery, being an entrepreneur, being a mentor. I wear a lot of different hats and I have people looking at me, and up to me in a particular way and for certain things. So I have a different kind of like level of awareness these days, and so
I'm glad you do, because people don't get that. Yeah. People don't get, because we come from a certain environment and it's like, okay, it's cool. Or it's like, because I was talking to the other coaches and I was like, man, some of the stuff that we do, we don't necessarily have to do where kids see us, or we gotta make sure, even if unless somebody cross the line where we just gotta put hands on, we can walk away, because we have to show kids a different light. We don't want to show them the same characters that they've saw, but they do this over here, but then they coaches. It's like you can't mix in. Or like me, like I don't, whatever title, I just say I'm a public figure because people could come up to me and see me somewhere, and if I'm doing something dumb, it's like, now I gotta explain myself, because 5 seconds of fame can be 5 seconds gone on these videos and stuff. So I appreciate that you understand that, because when you got people looking up to you or people coming to you for advice, you ain't got to change who you are, but you just got to be cognizant. Yeah, there you go.
Because it's hard for me to say too. I got to slow down
of what's going on and realizing, okay, I can still be me, but I got to show these people a different light because when you come from around the way, you want to show kids a different version. Okay, yeah, I used to do whatever, but now I'm over here and I can do this. So they can be like, okay, I can do that. Rather than you still doing the same stuff you've been doing. And it's like, oh, well, I do this and that. It's like you can't play both. I don't know if you ever watched Power. Ghost. What you gonna do, bro? You gotta pick, and that's how you have to be. You have to pick what you want to do, and sometimes people are scared, and that makes them scared of success because it's like, oh, I have to be a new person. No, you don't. You just gotta be a better version. Because some of those habits that you used to have, you don't need them no more.
Yeah, they don't serve you.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
And I was just having a talk, and it's like, but you have to be around those people that think like that because you could be around people and you'll behave that way, or it be times where I be around different people, different crowds, and I be sitting there like, these niggas is stupid. Or why are they, dang, y'all don't, how old is this man over here? Why are you, you still a gangster? And you, okay, you want to be hard, but you got kids up there? So if you go and make this off your feelings because you still want to be hard, now your kids ain't got no dad, what does that serve? Because the community said you was hard? Or your kids not having, and people don't realize, okay, my kid's more important. I didn't been, it's like as soon as my son came around, I was like, oh God, okay, I see what you're doing. I got to make real live decisions because if I don't, my son would be without his dad like I was without my dad because my dad passed when I was little. So we gotta think outside of the box to be better than what we saw before us. It's like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to piggyback off of that, and I was going to say, like, it goes back to what I said earlier. You don't know what you don't know. For a lot of, and I'm going to specifically call y'all out just because I want to make sure that y'all know I see y'all, like, for real, for real. For a lot of our Gen Xers, for a lot of our baby boomers, and our boomers too, and whoever else is in that mix, that I'm talking to folks who are, I'm going to say, 80s babies and olders, okay? Because those are essentially our parents or older siblings, the folks who raised us. If they're not, grandma, grandpa, auntie, etc. I want to say this. I see y'all. Y'all were giving the examples that y'all were given, and that is what you are going off of in everything that you do. So even if you have even an idea that I should be doing something different, it is really hard, and it takes a lot of time and intentional effort to literally rewire your brain to do something different. I am not making an excuse for you. I am just saying I see you and I understand.
I appreciate that.
Like for real, because we talk about this a lot with our organization. I was very adamant about creating a space that was multi-generational. So yes, you will see a kid running around, maybe looking crazy in your eyes. Like, why won't they just sit down? Because we are doing this in this particular moment. But I created, anywhere that I am is a free space. So you are not going to police a child around me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, you being their parent, I'm never going to overstep.
Yeah.
But if I am running the space, trust I'm big dog in that moment. And what I say goes. And if little baby want to run around here screaming and carrying on, let little baby run around screaming and carrying on, because they probably need to let it out. Yeah. We all need to let it out sometimes. And the thing is, if you struggle as an adult, if you struggle to sit still for an extended period of time and focus on something, why do you think a person who just got here is going to do any better than you?
People don't think that because I can't sit still. Like me sitting here is probably the longest you will catch me sitting down, because I eat standing up. I'll be on the phone standing up. I'm walking around, so I get it. So what you saying, you was when you say you were talking to the older generation, you was talking to me, because we have to remember that. And it made me think of my mom, because I always throw ideas out there. Yeah. And like you said, they only going off the example that they saw. So it's like, she might be like, "Ooh, that sounds good, son," but she might be scared, and I have to realize that, like, oh, they don't. You made me open my eyes to be like, give her a little bit of grace and mercy on that, because as somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur that's working towards it, you ain't gotta go to work. You could really, she don't work. She worked little odd jobs, but you could really take your life and make it into money by telling your story. Because mom got a crazy story that I didn't learn some of it until I got older, but that just made me think like, wow, I need to be more lenient on the older generation, but then also the older generation. I'm gonna talk. Let me look in the camera, y'all. When a younger person is trying to help you, let them help you. Because they only trying to help you because they can see the potential in you. Sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with age. Yeah. Just because you older than me don't mean I can't see the potential in you. And just because you older than me don't mean you can't be successful like me. Yeah. Just because you worked a job for 45 years and you stop right now, you could go and be an entrepreneur and make more than you ever made at that job. And we see that and we want to help y'all instead of making y'all go and be 60 and 75 and waiting on some check that ain't going to help you and you ain't going to be able to go to Florida and live like you want to. So listen, everybody got to listen to each other. Yeah. And everybody got to be work together. But to what you said, because we got to close it, because I'm pretty sure it's somebody else, because I can hear the door moving and lights flashing, and I can't remember, about storytelling. I definitely want to, that is something that I never really thought about, but it's healing, it's getting that out there, and sometimes people are scared to get that out there, but you got to get it out there. Yeah. Your story is cool. It is. Your story is so dope. Absolutely. Don't think that it's not, because it is. Because we both sitting here probably didn't think our story was dope either. But guess what? Our story changing lives all around the world. Not just here in Indianapolis, but around the world. And your story can do the same thing. That's why we have Underdawg Talk. That's why I have people on to use their voice. So if you want to use your voice, holla at me. You gotta be able to use your voice. Don't just come on here because you got a story. You don't know how to talk. I don't know how to help you. But if you do, holla at me. Before we get out of here. For sure. I need an Underdog quote. I like your socks too. I'm a socks man, so I like your socks. Right but because she got her dogs. Some of y'all, the listeners, she got dogs out, but they don't smell like dogs. I don't believe in that. Yeah, but that's just what the kids say.
I call these my Jimmys. They got Jimi Hendrix on them. Okay. Black owned sock company.
I like that.
New Orleans. I'll try to shoot you the info if I find it.
Okay. Need a quote.
Each one reach one and teach one too.
I love it.
That's my quote.
I appreciate you. I feel like I think I'm gonna start running some guests back. I definitely like to have another conversation, because I don't like to be restricted sometimes, and it be the ones that be restricted. Like, dang, I wanted to talk some more, but you can't. So definitely want to, because that storytelling part, I think that's something that be dope, and both of us using our stories to help folks. It'd definitely be a way to help them, because some people don't realize their story is dope. But appreciate you for what you do and with the recovery, and just keep being you. Just keep being you, because you're helping folks. And just keep being you. But they don't need to know how to,
Listen, where they gonna find you. I was ready. Where they gonna find you at? Okay, so you can find me personally everywhere, transparently Tasha. If you put the @ in front of that, you'll find me on social platforms. I'm really only on IG, but you'll find me on Twitter, X, whatever it's called right now. Yeah. I also have a Patreon where you're really starting to see my journey and process as I embrace writing as my form of artistry full time, and I'm really excited for that. As far as Mercy is concerned, same thing. I do believe in branding. So if you go to wearemrci.org, that is our website. You'll also be able to purchase one of these hoodies if you like. because you really do live every day. It's not just once.
Yeah.
I love my twin for coming up with that one. She was cooking. But yeah, WEARE MRCI. If you put the @ in front of that, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We recently just started releasing some guided meditations for folks, so folks can kind of connect with what we do, even if you can't physically share space with us or join us for some of our live online offerings.
I love it, and that'll be in the description. Before we get out of here, y'all know Underdawg Talk. Just type in Underdawg DAWG Talk on Google, and I'm gonna pop up. Ain't nobody else gonna pop up. But I want to shout out my son, because his book is officially about to be in his school library, and it's because he went and told his librarian about his book. She bought the book, and now they gonna put it in his school. So he did it on his own this time. I wish he's
congratulations.
Thank you. He's in another room where I would have had him come on the camera. But yeah, shout out to him. It's like he's doing a lot of dope stuff. A lot of it, I planted the seed, or his mom planted the seed, and it's good to see him doing stuff, because I didn't have that father figure there. I had a father figure, but not as involved or different stuff of that sort. So I be tearing up. I remember he was reading last week, and he struggled with reading. So him reading in front of people, I'm up here like, oh my gosh, please don't start crying. You can't be up here looking soft. But shout out to him, man. He's doing dope stuff. Shout out to his sister. She in college. That's a whole different ball game. Yeah, that's a whole. Parents, when you get to college, your kid's gonna randomly ask you for money all the time. Yeah, it happens. It does. They don't check on you. They don't see if you're alive, but they'll make sure to see if that Cash App works. Trust me, I know. Close us out.
You know what? I'm going to close us out with how I close out my guided meditations.
Okay, do I need to?
You can.
Okay.
All right, sugar. I just want you to know that I love you, I see you, and that I am proud of you. So be well, be you, be a blessing. Peace.
Keep being great.